Hey guys, Leo here from Digital Odyssey. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I thought I'd give you guys an overview of how to work with the FileReader API in JavaScript. So it's going to be a pretty quick video. There's not really a whole lot of code to go over, but I'm just going to show you guys kind of what I constructed for this particular project that I created for a client of mine last year. So I'll just give you guys a quick overview here of what I'm working with. So again, this is a custom order form that I created for a client. So basically what you're doing here is you're selecting a t-shirt design, you're entering your customer information, and then customers have the opportunity here to upload a custom logo on the back of the t-shirt if they wanted to. So I'm just going to select a quick file here. You'll see here that it shows a little display window here with that file that I uploaded. Right, and then I'm just going to enter a quantity. And then I'm going to press place order. Now it's just showing me my order details. And then from here, I can click on get shipping rates. I can select the shipping rate, hit confirm order. So at this stage here, when I press confirm order, this is where JavaScript is actually getting the file data, and it's actually processing it using the FileReader API. So I'm going to press confirm order. Okay, so everything was successfully processed. It redirected me to the Stripe checkout. For this demo, I'm not going to fill out this order form. I'm just going to go back to the, I'm just going to go back and cancel out of the order. And then here on the back end in WordPress, I actually just created a custom page that shows all of my existing orders, or all of the orders that were submitted. So you'll see here at the top, this is the latest order. If I click on view file, you'll see that that was the file that was uploaded for the order. So everything was processed successfully, and everything got saved into the database. Okay, so now I'm just going to jump into VS Code and give you guys an overview of the JavaScript code. Okay, so here we are in VS Code, and I currently have two JavaScript files open. So just to give you a little bit of a background, this project was developed in WordPress. So all of the files you see here, this is actually a WordPress theme that I'm working within. Okay, so here I have, again, I have two JavaScript files open here. So here I have a block of code that I created for my confirm order button. So if you remember in the form, on the last step, we hit confirm order, which then processed the order and redirected the end user to the payment page. So basically here I'm just collecting some data, or I'm actually just toggling some data, and then I'm checking to see if I have if I actually have any data to work with for the logo file. And if I do, then I just take that data, I'm putting it into an array, and then I'm calling a custom method here that I created called process files. I'm passing in that files array, and then I'm just listening for a response. So this process files method is actually in a separate file. It's actually in a module. So you'll see here it's in a file called utils, or labeled utils.js. So I'm just doing an export here on this file here. It's actually process files. So export process files. It's an async function. And then I'm passing in files as a parameter. And then I'm just running this code through a try catch block. So I'm just doing a quick check here to see if I have any data to work with. If I do, then I continue on, and then I create a new variable called file content, which calls a method called parse files, and it's actually an await method. So then down here I have my parse files function, and this is actually going to return a promise. So it's either going to do a resolve or a reject, depending if it resolves the data successfully, or if it catches any errors, it'll send back a reject. So I'm doing an initial check here as well. Just probably isn't really necessary, but I've just added it in there just as an extra layer of safety. Okay, so this is the block of code here that's the most important. This is where I'm actually creating my file reader. In this case, I'm actually checking for multiple files, right? So I kind of just structure this so this can work with either one file or multiple files, depending on what your needs are. So here I'm creating an empty array called file readers. I'm just storing each file reader object in here. And then I'm just keeping track of how many file readers I'm actually creating. So you can, this is more or less like an index counter. Then I'm creating an empty array called process files, where I'm actually storing all of the processed files that are being processed by the file readers, and I'm storing them in here. And then this process files gets returned back to this method here, where I continue on with processing the data. All right, and then here I'm just flagging for any errors that might occur during the file reading process. Okay, so there's my initial configuration there. Those are the variables I need in order for this to work. Okay, so now I'm actually parsing through the files array data. Again, it's being passed here. It's being passed into this method as a parameter. So I'm parsing through the files array, and then I'm grabbing the content type from the files from each file, and then I'm creating a new reader. So reader equals new file reader. And in this case here, I'm setting the reader to read the data as a binary string. And then here I'm keeping track of each file reader I'm creating. So file readers at push reader, and then total file readers plus plus. So I'm just incrementing this variable here by 1. And then we get the file information, so reader.onload. So we make a call to the onload method in the reader object. And then here we're just grabbing all the data that we need. So contents equals e.target.result, and then we're getting the base64 string from the contents. So we're running it through this method here, btoa, and we're passing in the contents. Then I'm just structuring a string here, which is pretty much just concatenating the data and the base64 string. And then I'm grabbing the file name from the file data structure. And then I am pushing a new array, which contains the file name and the file data, into the process files array, again, which I defined up here. And then I'm also adding an on-error listener to make sure, or to check to see if we're getting any errors during the parsing. And if we do, I'm passing that error to the parsing error variable that I created here. So after this for loop has concluded, we check to see if parsing error is an empty string. If it is, then that means that there are no errors detected, and we continue on with parsing through the file readers. So I'm just adding an additional check here to make sure we have file readers to work with. And actually, I should probably put an else statement here. Totally forgot about that. I can just send back an error that says no file reader detected. All right, so that's an additional layer there I can add for error handling. So going back here, so we check to see if we have file readers to work with. If we do, we loop through that file readers array. And then on each file reader, we call the onload end method. So we're checking each file reader to see if it's actually loaded or if it's actually completed parsing the data that we passed to it. So onload end, so when the onload end callback gets called, we subtract 1 from the total file readers, and then we do an if statement here, checking to see if we have any file readers left. So total file readers equals 0. Then we resolve the promise, and we pass back the data that we collected during each parsing, during the for loop, right? During the parsing of each for loop. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Again, here we're doing some additional error checking. So on this layer here, or this level, we're actually, if we detect a parsing error, we are passing that back to JavaScript, which gets caught over here, which gets caught in the catch. And again, there's an additional reject here in case there's no file data to work with, then that'll get sent back to this method as well. And that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much all you need to do in order to work with the file reader. If you guys want to learn more about the file reader, you can look it up online. I know there's a lot of documentation available. If you do a Google search, or even if you use ChatGPT, ChatGPT will actually give you a very good demonstration of how to set up a file reader in a very basic and in a very basic way. But basically what I covered here is pretty much the main gist of what you're going to need in order to work with the file reader and process file data. So guys, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. It'll kind of help me build out this channel a bit more. And I'm planning on posting up some more videos very soon, so stay tuned for those, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.